Andrew Hill here from Adventure Fishing. I've been doing this sport for about 17 years now. I'm going to run through and show you what clothing I wear and then show you a few of the extra accessories and what fishing gear I use. We'll go through the clothing solutions that work for me. Keep them all contained in one container. It makes it a little bit easier. First things first, definitely helps to have some goggles, glasses, part of your kit. Keep them in a case too, because it's easy for things to get damaged when you're out on the water. If I'm a bit more exposed by the weather, use one of these masks here. It's sort of like adding a windscreen before the days of having a windscreen. But nowadays we have the luxury, which I'll run through with you soon. My other FISHPRO Trophy has one of the windshields off the Explorers fitted, which is a great asset to my fishing machine. It's definitely another game changer for us. Always have a cap. Be sun smart out there. Look at me, got two of them there just to be safe, in case you lose one. I've got two parts of my fishing kit. So obviously very seasonal fishing all year round. We have a true summer where it gets extremely hot, and then a cold winter as well. So for my summer gear, I wear these light sharkskin pants. All this gear too you'll find on my website as well. One of the few places in New Zealand that have a full range of stock and sizes. So if you need a fitting of it, come over and see me and make sure you get the size that suits you best. The good part about getting this type of clothing, we're all different body shapes and sizes, so you can get separate size leggings to what you do with your upper part of your body. So it makes a more appropriate size fitting for people. So these here are SPF 50 for the leggings, and they will stop you getting sunburnt on the water, which is one of the biggest risks for us out on the water with the weather. When you're sitting there exposed with your legs, your thighs bare, you can get a lot of sun on them. This here is an SPF 50 top as well. This here is going to protect you from the sun. I have these available in the orange, the blue, or the green version. I also, for the warmer months, I wear the Sea-Doo buff too, to keep me sun off the face as well. Gloves, really important part of your fishing kit as well. I wear the fingerless ones, so I can still actually do my tying with my knots and so forth, as well as giving me protection on my hands against the fish spikes and so forth. Footwear, I've got these water shoes from Sea-Doo. Particularly like these. I've been wearing them for about 5 so years now, and I think I'm on my third pair because I always like them looking sharp, and these are the latest colour, these ones. What else have we got here? Balaclava. We're moving on to the colder months of clothing. This is the Sharkskin Balaclava. Got to keep your head warm because that's where you're going to lose your temperature first. When you're out on the water, it's got a bib around the outside that goes down your collar as well. Keeps you warmer. So my underlay, I wear the climate control top here. You'll notice it's a short sleeve one. It does come in long sleeve as well. But to be honest, with the type of kit that I wear for the winter, this is sufficient by the time I put my upper layer on as well. So that's the climate control top with the zip as well to let it breathe a bit. And I can normally start wearing that into slightly warmer months as well, just wearing that during the day as well, as long as I use that zip to let it breathe. For leggings, for the winter, similar to the other ones I showed you, the light ones, but these are the full winter version, a lot thicker and more chill proof and thicker through there, okay? So really good and durable product too. Then on my upper layer, I've got my Rooster top, probably one of the more popular parts of kit that's people buying, the jet ski fishermen and so forth. Really good way of keeping you warm. It's got no zips on it, and it's the Pro Aqua fleece on the inside as well. It's got a drawstring around the neck, really good part of kit. If I'm going full winter mode as well, I'll wear my full overalls as well over the top. And then I've also got, if I feel like I'm more Arctic weather, I've got my 3-layer jacket as well for if I want to step it up another level. So that's all my clothing kit. It's pretty important. If you don't stay warm or if you don't stay sun protected out there, you're not wanting to stay out on the water as long as possible. And let's face it, when you get a cool craft like this, you want to get out there as much as possible and not be limited by the weather. And it looks like I missed another good day to doing this today, but this has been an important project I've been wanting to do for you guys as viewers. If you've been liking what you see, also put a comment in the feed there. It'd be nice to hear what you want to see more of or what you particularly liked most about this video. So next we're going to move on to my other trophy. This one's a bit more kitted out for my offshore crazy adventures, I'd call them, where I go 50, 60k away from the mainland, and of late I've started targeting deep water fish, which is particularly enjoyable and a new challenge that I'm starting to enjoy and learn more about. So I'll walk through that with you, show you how I've rigged this one, and also show you some of the gear I'm using for this deep water stuff. Cool. With the bonus of having two FISHPROs, if I'm not out in the water with the family enjoying our adventures, I also take the second unit out for more of my deep water missions. And as you can see, it's got the Explorer windshield added to it. It's pretty simple fitment, only takes a couple of minutes for anyone to install. Adds me so much more protection out on the water, especially on these offshore adventures where you're subjected to a lot more weather elements. It cuts out a lot of the noise, a lot of the wind, and a lot of the salt sprays. So any of you guys been sitting on the fence and thinking, how good is that windshield? It's a thumbs up from me. As you can see as well, I have added a mount on it. This is more of a heavy duty mount I've done for this new 360-degree camera. Got one of the new Insta-X4s. Works pretty cool. It's giving a whole new perspective for my adventures, and lets the viewers, if they go to the trouble through the YouTube app, to immerse themselves and actually be able to control what they want to see. This here you can get all around the FISHPRO, capture all the perspectives, which is pretty cool to share with you guys. I'm going to run through some safety tips with you guys. Pretty important when you're going out there to tick all the boxes. Put some value on your life and take it seriously. Before you're getting out on the water, check the weather and make sure the forecast is going to be suitable for the experience and your capabilities. And if you're new to it, just stick close when you're going out first, and make sure you do a trip report and let everyone know where you're going. Wear your vest, and also check your bungs. And probably another thing as well, if you're new to it, make sure that when you're starting up your craft that you're in at least knee-deeper water, because you don't want to suck up any unexpected small stones or anything and damage your impeller. As far as all my safety gear, when I go out, I've got my phone in this dry storage area here, and then also I've got a USB cord in here, so if I do happen to get a flat battery, I still can charge it up through the USB. You've got your lanyard, and I also keep my keys on a floaty in case you happen to drop that in the water in between you parking your car and getting on your Sea-Doo. Next, your lanyard connects up here. Make sure that you attach that to somewhere on your vest as well. Like on my vest here, I can connect it straight away on there. If you ever have an incident, the desk post will disconnect your lanyard, and then that'll disable the ski. Next, as far as safety equipment, I have also a handheld VHF. The VHF is high wattage, waterproof and floating. Vest here, I've got a personal locator beacon in this pouch that's actually attached to me. It floats. It's not too small that I can actually, if I do need to use it, that I can actually activate it when I need to. So as far as the PLB goes, this is a McMurdo fast phone. It's got a test button on here, so I can test it to see if it's got the sufficient battery power that's needed in it. They normally last about 5 years, and you can get the batteries replaced as you need to. As far as activating it, you release this switch here and then pop that off. Once the antenna is facing upwards, you can push the on button, and that will give strong enough signal for you to actually get rescued by the various emergency services that the National Rescue Centre will actually organise someone who's closest to come out and find you. And it's paramount that you're wearing that actual unit, because there's been so many incidents of recent, whether it's boaties or hunters, and if they have the actual device on them, the rescue services will actually need to know where to come and collect you. Whereas you get separated from your vessel, which has recently happened with some boaties, it makes it very awkward for the rescue services to find you if the weather conditions are extreme. And let's face it, we're a pretty small craft out there. We want to be safe and make sure that we can be found if there's anything does happen to go wrong. Something else to think about, be prepared. I have a tow rope for any unforeseens, in case I need to help anyone else out, or for the worst case scenario for myself. And then have this additional BRP Sea-Doo safety equipment packed there with a whistle and so forth in it. Don't forget, for your lunch and that, have a coolie bag, just for your water and your food going out there. Got to be prepared. I'm normally out on the water for a few hours, so I want to make the most of it and not go hungry out there. Sunscreen as well. Important part of your kit. That's us ready to go. Once you've got the bungs in, nothing's stopping you. Let's go through the other stuff. Part of my kit for going on these deep water drops, I've added a heavy duty rod holder system here, all made out of stainless, mounted to the factory wake pole area. It allows me to take my deep water electric reels. This one here is the Daiwa Seapower 800. I fish up to about 600 odd meters of water at times, depending on the weather conditions. To power the electric reel, I've got a lithium battery here. This is a 7,000 milliamp one from Battery Smith overseas. Straps on the rod grip here. Makes it a lot easier rather than having wires trampled through the ski itself and running off your existing battery power. It's got its own power and it's nice and easy to screw in here. And I will find that I get a good 30 drops out of it in a session, which is typically what I need, depending on how hot or cold the fishing is on the day. You can see the indicator on it, so it can tell me how much battery level it's got. You'll notice here that my other electric reel, my Tanacom 750, is covered up with one of the reel covers as well. This is the jumbo reel cover. This is a larger size to suit these larger reels. The earlier reel cover I showed you is predominantly probably 90% of the rods and reels people are using. That's the standard size. Plus on the side of this rod holder tube, you'll see the knife all there. There's for cutting up my bait on the water, or any quick bust offs I need to do. And little tip there, that knife's just been strapped on by my Velcro straps there, just around the whole rod holder tube. When I'm going out for my electric reel fishing, I try to be as well prepared as possible, and I've got separate bags for the different types of fishing I've got, but this one here, pretty packed out, because for your electric reel fishing, you need to be prepared for anything. I wrap up all my heavy weights so that they don't smash around and get damaged or damage anything else, because you don't know what the weather is going to be when you're riding out. I've got my pre-rigged puka and deep water drop rigs there. Got a spare battery cable in case I've got to go to mains battery. Got different lures, lights. Because you're going down deep, you need some light down there to attract the fish to the bait, and then some more rigs there. So just a fair bit of gear. Oh, something else you might notice in there too, to attach my sinkers, I just use the cable ties, nice and easy. And then got some rags out there because I'm fishing smelly bait for this particular type of fishing. Normally when I'm heading out as well, Got to take some frozen bait, but on the way out I normally try and catch some fresh bait along the way, just using some lures or soft baits, which I can show you what my particular knots are for soft baits and how I put a soft bait on. For my kingfish fishing, when I'm out there doing my mechanical jigging and so forth, if I have any bust offs, I've got some other gear pre-prepared in this tackle bag. Just means for whatever target species I'm after, I can be quickly organised and not taking too much unnecessary gear on the days I'm not targeting those fish. You see a catch bag here, that's my standard size catch bag I use for kingfish and big snapper. This is the Daiwa 35 JP Saltiga on the Spartan rod. And for my kingfish, this is a good weapon for the mechanical jigging. And typically I use 250, 300 gram metal jigs for that. As far as my soft baiting, I showed you earlier my Revelry 4000 and the Demon Blood rod. But for my really hardcore soft baiting, I now have the Saltiga 4000. Absolute beast of a reel. Had some good sessions on it of late. I run 10 kilo multicolour X8 braid on it, and then I run 30 to 40 pound depending on the day. J-thread Daiwa fluorocarbon, and I'll show you how that sets up. When I'm not using the reel for a period, I'll leave that drag off as well, so I don't end up putting too much pressure on those drag washers. As you can see, it's all looking in good nick because I've been looking after it and putting it in the reel cover. So I'll show you a couple of my go-to knots for my soft baiting. I'm going to share with you a couple of the knots that have worked well for me over the years. When I started the sport, wasn't overly confident with my knots, and as time went on, I learnt new tips and tricks and listened to the experts, and eventually got reasonably good at doing it myself. So I'm just going to retie this particular one. I always find it's pretty important that when you're going out fishing, especially on those more adventurous missions, that you retie all your knots before you go. This way you will be best prepared and have no risk of any line damage from a previous fish encounter. The first knot that I'm going to use is to double up the braid, and it's what we call the spider hitch. So I get about just over 1 meter of line doubled up. Got to wet the line first, and then I do it in a loop, and then I go around my finger 2, 3, 4, 5. Back through that loop, and then you slowly pull it off your finger like so, and then gives a nice, strong and clean knot there. And I'll trim that up nicely. Yeah, it's always a bit tricky to keep tension on it, so I don't know how good that braid scissors are. That's that part of it done. The next knot I'm going to do is a back-to-back uni knot, which people are a lot more familiar with. I'll just get some tension on that line. It makes it a lot easier. You've got to make sure though that that doubled up line is 100% true at the end, and it doesn't have a belly in that line at any point. So for this particular application, for the type of fishing I'm planning on doing next is some crazy big snapper session. I'm going to use the 40-pound J thread. fluorocarbon. Just get that started there. It's a very highly rated line. It's not too thick, so it's still easy to do the knots. It's very flexible, so once again, sorry, I'm struggling there. Always got to wet that line so it doesn't burn. So this is a uni knot, just doing that curve around there, then back through there 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 1 done, then you roll it back over. Haven't left myself an extreme amount to do that, but it should work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once again. It's easier if you use your teeth. It's all a bit of a handful sometimes when you're trying to do it on camera. Pull that up nice and tight. You always double wrap it on your fingers too, because the braid is super sharp. Trim that up nice and short. Once again, that's a nice clean knot to run through your guides as well. Then I'll wind that up through the rod up the top, and I'll typically do a rod length of that leader. To do the next stage, use one of my monster snapper clips here. These are rated up to 100 pound. Really important when you put these on, that little angle piece goes to where the top of your knot is there. And once again, uni knot. 3. Making a meal of this one. 4. Always on camera. There we go. And I always leave a bit of a tail on that one. No harm in doing that. Fish isn't going to see it. So that's that rig all ready to go, and then I've just got to put a hook on it and a soft bait. I always use good quality hooks. Don't want them bending out there. Want them to be sharp. A lot of the time I use 5-bar row or 7-bar row when I'm using bigger baits. The beauty of this clip here is I can just hook that ring straight through onto it like that, and then it won't fall out, and it'll also won't manipulate the action at all. And I just got to get a soft bait. Most important part, you've gone to all this trouble getting your knots all correct. You want to make sure the soft bait's been put on properly, because you want it to be a nice true action in the water, and needs to go around the hook nicely and not have a big kink in it once it's right up on that hook. Wow, just about got me. See how that's true all the way through there? It's all very important, because if that has a big kink in it, it'll wobble in it, it won't go through the water so well, and you want that action in the water to attract the fish and create the sound to entice that fish to hit your bait. So it's ready to go. Wish I was going fishing. Tide's in now, but I'll have the clean up after this video. Please feel free to comment on the feed there of any further videos you'd like to see, or any questions you have relating to any of this information. I need to go get organised because in the next couple of days I'm going to be out there fishing. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. It'd be nice to hear from you guys where you're fishing around the world. Comment away in the comments, and hope to see you on the water.